What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. One thing I want to hear from you guys is, what are your thoughts about this? Is the government starting to care about truck drivers? Because one of the biggest problems that trucking has, right, is truck parking. We've heard this again and again and again. And I put updated information that Arizona Department of Transportation is building millions of dollars worth of truck parking, and now it looks like Indiana is spending $600 million to add over 1,000 truck parking spots. Now, that's going to take over a decade for this to happen. But the question I have is, as bad as things are, does it seem like the government is actually starting to pay attention and do what's right for the truck drivers? So according to Indiana DOT, basically in the span of over the next decade, they will use around $600 million to improve 21 rest areas and welcome centers across Indiana. And this should add at least 1,100 truck parking spots to the existing 400 already in the state. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because they've just had so many accidents of truck drivers parking on the on-ramps and off-ramps. And so because of that, it's just one of those things where, it seems like they're trying to make a change. Mutha Truckers, comment down below. What are your thoughts about this? But I thought that was some positive news. What are your thoughts about this, Mutha Truckers? When you think about the politicians, the state officials, government officials, congressmen and women out there, do they do these things for votes, or do they truly care? The reason why is because recently a congressman has grilled the head of the FMCSA and states the major issue with speed limiters, right? I want you to watch this. Tell me what your thoughts are. I think the biggest thing that we need to do is educate four-wheelers on how to drive around semi-trucks. I think if they did that, if on their test that they already take, there was just a couple of questions to get your Class C that said, how long it takes for a truck to stop, the way trucks maneuver, what they can see, that would make a big difference. Making one group of vehicles go one speed and then another group go another, is that really going to help? Because most accidents happen below 25 miles an hour anyways, So Mutha Truckers, watch this. Tell me what your thoughts about this are. And let's get into it.
Gentleman yields. Mr. Nels.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Administrator Hutchinson, the FMCSA is considering a number of regulations that are in various stages of the rulemaking process, including a potential speed limiter mandate on the large trucks, big trucks. Now, I know you may not be able to comment in detail about the substance of the final rule, but I hope you would agree with me that a credible process is very, very important, particularly when working through controversial rulemakings. Would you agree we need to get this right? Yes? Yeah.
Representative Nels, yes, I agree.
Very good. Okay. So this is why it concerns me. This is what concerns me, that in late September, FMCSA included a specific speed limit for the speed limiter rule, 68 miles an hour. It was in the US DOT Unified Agenda. This was quickly rescinded and chalked up as a clerical error. Did you know about that? 68 miles an hour, US DOT? It's a clerical error. However, the same week, I believe that you were a keynote speaker at a high-dollar fundraiser. They dubbed it as a soiree sponsored by labor unions, trial attorneys, large trucking companies. All of these stakeholders have been pressuring your agency to select a speed limiter rule set at 60 miles an hour, well below what the agency had indicated it was prepared to select. Were these two occurrences connected in any way?
Representative, I appreciate the opportunity to make clarifications here. We have not yet set a speed limit, and we have not issued an NPRM in which that speed limit would be suggested for feedback.
Do you believe that it hurts the credibility of rulemaking process by attending, keynoting a fundraiser for advocates on one side of the issue while the regulation is under consideration?
Representative, we take very seriously the fidelity of the process of rulemaking, and we don't discuss the contents of the rule even as we're engaging with our stakeholders
All right,
around the.
I'll trust you on this. I'm going to trust you on this, but I just hope that you equally consider the 15,000 comments from America's truckers who have provided input on this rulemaking. They're not going to be able to host a big fundraiser for you, but are you familiar with Landline magazine? You familiar with this?
Representative, I am.
It's a very good magazine. Do you read it, or do you just get it, or it sits on your desk, or do you read this? This is the October 2023 issue, page 12. Very dangerous, very dangerous. It says here talking about the speed limiters on this thing. Read this article, because I tell you, the people that travel around, and I think you mentioned earlier that truckers are moving a lot of our goods and service around. Listen to the truckers. I think they would know better than the bureaucrats and specifically Congress on this. The AEB rule, I'd like to pivot to that. I believe NHTSA, FMCSA has gone far beyond congressional intent to include vehicles for which AEB technology is not practical. Vocational emergency vehicles. The rule was written, is not implementable. I don't believe it is. Vocational vehicles are not completed on our factory lines. The chassis is sent to third-party customization shops where heavy equipment is added, like a dump truck with a big snowplow in front of it. Manufacturers would not be able to certify the system once the vehicle is altered, which can lead to a misleading understanding of AEB for the operator. Ms. Carlson, you familiar with this magazine?
I don't,
Oh,
but I will.
you got to read the magazine.
You recommend it
The whole
highly.
industry, everybody's driving out. Very dangerous. So why the trucks say an emergency, automated emergency brake mandate would jeopardize safety. It talks about one of the truck drivers that it was either a shadow or the guardrail caused her to lose control in this thing, scared the hell out of her. Matter of fact, I got a little Lexus, and I was backing up out of the grocery store, the HEB the other day, and all of a sudden the damn thing slammed the brakes and scared me, scared my wife. I said, what the heck's happening? Well, this thing must have detected a vehicle coming from my left or my right. This can be very, very dangerous. And if you read this, matter of fact, I'll give you this copy once I'm done. You need to read this when it talks about these brakes and how dangerous it's going to be. Let's get into what's really important as well is my Trucker Access Act.
Would you mind if I responded to?
I just got another 20 seconds here. Are you guys, Ms. Carlson, Ms. Hutchinson, are you familiar with my Access to Trucker Bathroom Access Act? Are you familiar with that?
Representative, I am.
Oh, very good. Is the administrative supportive of the principle behind my bill?
Representative, we believe in dignified working conditions.
I love that. I love that. And all the truckers running around trying to find a way to relieve themselves and find a bathroom to go to. I mean, it just makes sense. We should provide access to bathrooms for these truckers. Easier for fellas just to go behind a truck. But what about a lady? What's a lady going to do? She's got to have access to a bathroom. Do you have any data or ways to accumulate data for truck drivers that were denied bathroom access or anything like that?
Quick answer on this.
Representative, your office has reached out to mine for technical
Beautiful.
assistance, and we look forward to continuing to assist.
I'm glad that you support it. I'll support you on this and do everything we can to make sure that our truckers have a place to relieve themselves in the right way legally. Thank you.
So I was checking through the emails, and I got a really fun one right here from a few truck drivers. They were asking, how was the trucking like in Vietnam? And the truth is, I saw a lot of European trucks, but I saw a lot of internationals as well. And so just want to give you guys a quick history lesson on this. So how many of you remember the International ProStar, but with the Max Force engine? I mean, that motor was crap, right? They couldn't sell them. I believe even the CEO got fired at the time for just switching things up and losing them so much money. What ended up happening was the secondary market took it, and so many used dealers were buying Max Force Internationals from auctions and then shipping them across seas. So Vietnam actually got a lot of these, right? And since they did not care at all about regulations, I mean, all they have to do was delete it and the truck worked perfectly. We are at a Vietnamese, looks like truck stop rest area. How cool is that? Looks like home. What do you guys think? Look at all the trucks back there. Some of these people got deep pockets, man. They got Mercedes. They got Ford trucks. They're pretty cool. But yeah. All you mother truckers, when you're in Vietnam, besides all the Euro trucks that you'll see internationals like this. And here's a little history lesson for you guys. These actually have max force engines in them. So the ones that America did not want, they shipped them to Vietnam and they sold them on the secondary market. So even though you'll see different types of regular semi-trucks, you will see a lot of internationals as well. You know, and since we've been going here, you know, almost every 5 miles I see a truck stop. These dogs are resilient.
This dog will